I don't think it matters who you are. We've all had a dream. We've all had a thought in our minds about disappearing from our lives and coming back successful. Whether you've gone through a breakup, you're in a job that you don't like, a 9 to 5, maybe you've even got a business, but you don't like the person you've become. There's this magical idea in our minds of disappearing, of going off of grid and coming back the person that we want to be in our lives. Now, this video is all about how to do that. It's a step-by-step guide to disappearing and coming back successful, because that is exactly what I did in my life over the last 2.5 years now. I disappeared from my 9 to 5. I moved to a foreign country and I changed who I was as a person, and I came back a success. I had this hero's journey, which some of you will know about. And if you don't know about it, I'll tell you about it in this video. But it all starts, as any great idea does, as a daydream. This was me, this strapping young chap with his headset on in the cold cooling centre in a pretty dead 9 to 5 job. As you can see by the look in my eyes, there is no life left in there. And what I did have was an imagination. And I used to sit there and think, man, there's a version of Jack that could be so much better than this. And I would sit in my 9 to 5, I would go through the same things every day. In the end, I was managing a cold calling team, but I would sit there at my job, and in between managing people, I'd go online and look different locations up that maybe I could move to. And I dream of being this person that was very far away at the time from who I was. And I would think about working on myself like a little boot camp, and then coming back into my life and surprising everyone with being a success. On December 2021, I stopped dreaming and I embarked on a journey of self mastery and recreation, of becoming a new person. And my destination of choice, as a lot of you will know, was Koh Samui, Thailand. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I think you should move location when you are trying to recreate yourself and come back successful. I realized that every hero has a journey. Frodo left the Shire, if you're into Lord of the Rings. His journey was so epic, they made one of the best trilogies of all time, Lord of the Rings. He had a journey and he had to leave his home base to become the person that he wanted to be and fulfill his mission. Same with Luke from Star Wars, leaving Tatooine, and Harry left Privet Drive to start the adventures of Hogwarts. So you are the hero of your own story. And in order to become the hero that you want to be, you need a journey, you need a mission, and you need to leave the home base, and you need to go to somewhere that inspires you. I chose that location based purely off of the lifestyle I decided in my head I wanted to live and the cost of living. So I chose Thailand. I watched the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. What's that movie called? The Beach, with Leonardo DiCaprio, where he leaves America and goes to Thailand in search of adventure and gets off the beaten trail and goes to the island of Koh Samui and lives this adventurous life and becomes a new person. And that inspired me, and I started researching if Thailand would be a good place to go, and it fit the bill for me. When you first embark on this journey to become a new person, it's going to be quite scary, and it was scary for me at times. But what you've got to remember is the hero's always scared. In all of these movies, the hero's uncertain. He's scared. And what makes us love the hero and what really makes the story is the challenges. So understand, when you leave the home base, the point is not to get everything perfect, to get everything right. The point is to have an adventure. Because right now, your life is probably at a point where it's boring. You are bored with the mundane activities of day-to-day life. That's surely how I felt when I was working a 9 to 5 and I was tired of feeling controlled in the UK. I had that sense of wanting freedom, and I think that's a beautiful thing for a young man in terms of becoming a new person. A lot of people get scared when they think about moving away from home, when they think about embarking on this journey. They think that they're going to get left behind or forgotten by the people that they left at home. What I'd like you to remember, and what I've realized on my journey, was that people just admired me more. I became this figure that they hadn't seen in a long time, and distance makes the heart grow fonder. It makes people think about you, and the fact that you're on this journey to become a better version of yourself normally just improves the relationships that you have at home. And when you come back a success, it's really an amazing feeling being admired by the people you once sort of hung out with day to day. Now, the reason that you leave home is for recreation. You want to disappear and become a new person. And change doesn't come naturally to people. Change is not normal. It's distressing to the mind. The mind seeks comfort. And you've got to remember that, because the mind will keep you in the same place. It will keep you unhappy because it's comfortable in a situation that it's in. And the reason you have to get out of your hometown is because the people around you hold judgments about who you are right now. And it's very difficult for them to accept a new version of you happening before their eyes because they see it as inauthentic. If you're like me, I was a guy that loved to drink and party and just had my 9 to 5, drank and partied, and people held me to that vision. So, in order for me to change, I had to break away from those people. And the reason why it's so effective is because when you go to a new country, nobody knows you. You're on your own. So I arrived in Thailand completely on my own, and I got the option to tell people who I was now. So I decided when I first went from England and arrived in Bangkok, I decided I'm no longer Jack Hopkins that worked in sales, that drinks all the time. I'm a guy that's into his health and fitness, that's going to build wealth by building a personal brand online that's going to inspire and educate other people. And that's what I started to tell people when I went on my journey. Now, as you may have noticed by my use of movies and the hero's journey, I'm incredibly interested in gamifying things, in making things interesting to me. And I like to view myself as a character like we would view a video game character, somebody that I'm in total control of molding as a person and understanding that my choices and what I decide to do mold the person that I become. So this is me before I left the UK, a little bit out of shape, drank a lot of beer back then, can see it on the old belly. And I had this vision for myself, which is the right. This is the person that I wanted to become within 2 years' time. I wanted to be wealthy. I wanted to be tanned. I was tired of being super pale and living in the UK. That's just something that's always in my head. I wanted to be disciplined. I didn't want to give up on myself. I wanted to be righteous and do the right thing. I wanted to be ripped, able to fight, and I wanted to create a personal brand, entertain and inspire. Now, it's so important before you leave on your mission and before you even decide where to go on your mission that you decide the person that you want to become. And I created this character in my mind in those days at my job when I was thinking about the people that I admire and who I wanted to be like in my life to feel good about myself. And I created this character before I went, and then Thailand fit the right location to be that character. Thailand was the perfect training ground to become the person I wanted to be. So, remember, everything starts with an idea, and anything that you can think about that you could become, you absolutely can. It just takes time, discipline, and dedication. Now, my journey to Thailand was not without its own trials and tribulations. And one pitfall to watch out for is don't recreate yourself into the same person in a new place. And that's what brings me to the art of discipline. You can move locations, you can decide you want to become a new person, but if you don't have discipline, nothing is really possible inside of your life. And one thing that happened to me when I first moved to Thailand to become this new person is I was scared. And there was a lot of raw emotion and fear being alone in a foreign country where I didn't speak the language and I didn't know anyone. So, for a little bit of my journey at the start, I reverted back to the person I was. I picked up the thing that I was comfortable with, which was alcohol and partying. And I met people that were from the same place as me on the party circuit, backpackers. And I very nearly lost my dream of becoming who I wanted to be because I got, as some people call it, lost in the sauce in Thailand. The sauce being alcohol. Not good sauce to be drinking. What I did to turn this around is I dialed into discipline. I realized that if I wanted to become a new person, that required new habits, new disciplines, a new way of being. And no matter what happened in my life, I was going to say no to anything that didn't help me become that new person. It requires to become successful, turning up day in, day out, and doing the same boring stuff and thinking about it as being interesting. So, finding joy in the journey. If you think about someone going through a ninja training academy, and every day it's the wax on, wax off way of life of doing the same boring repetitions to become a master at something. I like to gamify my life and think about it in that way. So I thought of Thailand as my boot camp to become the man I admired. And I actually attribute a large portion of my success to being able to build a world-class physique and body. I believe that the discipline that you start with, the easiest one to start with when you don't have money, is to master your body in a way you've never mastered it before. So for me, it was all about self-care. I arrived in Thailand and then I would spend time in the sun. I would spend time reading and I would spend a lot of time in the gym and then eating the right food. And I would do that day in, day out without missing schedule. I would do it day in, day out and get to bed on time. And eventually I started to build the body of the person I wanted to become. And this physical discipline led to mental discipline in my mind, which allowed me to progress in business. Now, at this point in the video, I want to run you through some action steps so you can become this person, because you can watch videos like this and get inspired and feel good about it for a minute. But if you don't take action, nothing will change in your life. So what I did first was I daydreamed at my 9 to 5 about the life that I wanted and where that was going to be. And over time, that developed into this vision of Thailand and Muay Thai training and starting a personal brand in an interesting place and documenting my journey. I then wrote down the vision, the detail of my character, the person that I wanted to become, the wealth, the actions, how they felt, how I felt about life every day, a future version of me. Then I wrote out the dream life vision, which is very important. Where does the story take place? I decided Thailand, Koh Samui. What house did I have? What car? What activities did I do every day? What girlfriend did I have? What cash in the bank? What was my occupation? How did I make money? And I got it super, super clear. So even when I was in my 9 to 5, in the mornings I would wake up and read about the person I was going to become, and I would keep it in my mind. And my mind subconsciously started to work towards that goal and find the path for me to get where I wanted to go. The next very important part of this is figuring out that goal and reverse engineering it, breaking down the steps to becoming that person and making the money and the changes that you want to make. So the first thing that I would do, reverse engineer it all the way to the current day. So for example, when I was in my 9 to 5, my first step was just making a dream board. I just printed out some pictures of Muay Thai camps in Thailand, and I printed out some pictures of the truck I wanted and the girls, and I put it all together on a dream board in my office, and I started looking at it every day. Then after that, I realized if I wanted to leave my job, I was going to need some money. I was going to need some savings. So I cut back a couple of expenses and I started saving up to a target amount of money, which about £15,000, about $20,000 was what I was aiming to save up to make the move, quit my sales job and go all in on becoming a person I wanted to become. And then I got that money in the bank. And then I realized, okay, I've got to get rid of my apartment. I've got a girlfriend that I can't take with me. So even though I loved her, I had to break up with her. Then I had to move back in with my mum. And I broke down these steps in small enough chunks that I could slowly tick them off and make progress towards the person I wanted to become, and then book that flight and finally make the leap. Now, once I arrived, and I see this with a lot of people, some people they come to Thailand. I meet a lot of them all the time. They get the first part of the mission sorted, and maybe you've already got the savings there. Maybe you're ready to make the leap. But then a lot of them end up not fulfilling their destiny. They don't become the person they want to become, and they return with an empty bank account rather than becoming a success. I believe the way to combat that is by creating your own luck. So I got to Thailand and I started doing my thing. I started posting every day, Instagram reels, posting on stories, started an online fitness coaching business when I was out there, started doing my daily training, making sure I was tan, making sure I was reading self-development books. I just showed up every day and I had faith that it was going to work out, even though I wasn't making enough money, even though my money was running out. And my lucky break came just as I needed it. I had about $5,000 worth of debt because I had to buy my own course with my credit card, so I had some cash because I'd run out of cash and I couldn't take credit card money out of the cash machine in Thailand. I needed to pay my rent. So I was really at the end of nearly giving up on my journey. And some people might have taken that 5,000 and been so upset by the situation that they go out and party a little bit and then they go home to mum and dad and start again. For me, I decided I was going to keep faith and something was going to happen. Some luck was going to happen to me that took me the rest of the way. I could just feel it. And then one day in the gym, obviously I was turned up to the gym every single day on time. I hadn't partied the night before. I didn't miss a gym session. One day in the gym, I bumped into a guy called Hamza. He was a YouTuber. We just started chatting to each other and we became friends. I didn't know who he was. And then I met him again at a Muay Thai gym, just fulfilling my destiny, just being the person I wanted to be, showing up, having faith. I met him, we sparred together. He posted me on his Instagram, me and him sparring, and I got like 1 or 2 thousand followers from that. And then he said to me, Jack, why are you not doing YouTube yet? And I was like, oh, I can't make the perfect vlogs yet. I don't want to start yet. And he was like, start today, make daily videos every day, and you're going to blow up on YouTube, man. And I listened to him. I got my lucky break. I got the inspiration from a person, and I followed it. And I made a video every single day. And on my 5th video, I filmed a cold approach. I got the camera out when I was with Hamza. I was like, oh, let's approach some girls. I filmed a cold approach with Hamza and it got like 25,000, then 50,000, then 100,000 views. And I started to get a small following. I had like 2,000 followers. Then I had 10,000 subs on YouTube. And I made sure I stuck to a daily video every single day. And then I started to build out my online product. I built out a testosterone course for boosting testosterone, because that's what I'd done before I went to Thailand. I'd figured out how to boost my testosterone naturally. And I turned that into a little product for $99. And I started to make money online, enough money to stay in Thailand and pay off my debt. And that's what I mean by creating your own luck. Most people, they get to the new place, they get swept up in the partying, and they forget the vision. So I'll always be super thankful for meeting Hamza and being in a position, being the man that felt like he deserved success, that had the physique to talk to someone else about fitness, to be inspiring to somebody else, and then for never giving up on the dream and committing to it every day and never getting off the wave of success. So one thing I'd say to you is learn to bend your reality. Learn that any day could be the day that you meet the person that makes a difference in your life. And if you want to do this, knowing that somebody, meeting one person can completely change your destiny, we have a community of over 300 entrepreneurs around the world that are helping each other get to that next level. So you could join a network of 300 entrepreneurs that will have the connection in there to take you to the next level in your life. You can connect with me. You can talk about moving to Thailand, starting a personal brand. We have guys from all different industries absolutely killing it inside the network. So if you're interested in connecting with us, achieving your dream, following in the same footsteps as me and loads of other guys that want to live this freedom lifestyle, go check out the link below, see what we're all about as a network, and come and join our brotherhood by booking a call in the link below. Now, all this stuff I'm talking about is actually just becoming proactive. It's about deciding that your life is not decided and that you decide the actions that you want to take and the person that you want to become. And that's called being proactive. I got that from the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Fantastic book that I would read, by the way. But life is basically full of problems. And the people that do the best in life, they start seeing the problems as a fun part of the journey. In the video game, if there's no missions, if there's no quests, if there's no problems, there's no game. And you've got to start viewing life as a game and stop thinking of your problems as some, oh, my life's ruined, blah, blah, blah. You have to become proactive, which means understanding that problems are going to happen and finding the fun and the adventure in them. And I do this in 3 simple steps. So you manage problems like this. Number 1, be realistic. You can't ignore problems. You can't pretend they're not there. You can't just conquer them with a positive mindset and just imagining they're going to go away. That doesn't help. So for example, I knew that I was running out of money. I knew I didn't have enough income. And if that continued, I'd have to leave Thailand and go home and give up on my dream. Step number 2, there's no point getting scared about that. Although it's a reality, there's no point being scared of it. What lessons can we learn? And what's the best possible move to make right now? I knew I should stay disciplined. I should stay faithful that it was going to come to me in the end. And I should try new avenues for creating cash flow. YouTube rather than Instagram. New videos, daily uploads. I stayed aware of opportunities. In the gym, I met Hamza. I started talking to this guy. I was open to meeting somebody new and listening to him about his success with YouTube. Rather than seeing my situation as a bad thing, I realized it was a blessing. That running out of money was creating the man that was going to have success and money in the future. And that's what I stuck to. And then I delivered on those actions day in, day out. Now, a large part of disappearing and becoming successful that makes it romantic and makes it something that we want to do is the fact that we don't have to answer to anybody, that we get to say no to people because we don't feel driven to all these commitments. When you live at home, one of your friends says, "Oh, it's my birthday," another one gets married. There's things going on every weekend. And I got to tell you, man, as much as those things are fun, if you're not at a point where you're happy with yourself as a person, I would recommend saying no to everything that does not serve the goal. Because the only thing that leads to any lasting fulfillment in your life is progressing yourself as a person. So I became very selfish after my first month in Thailand of having a bit of drinking. I said, nope, I'm only going to mix with people that are good for me, good for this mission. And if they don't fit the mission, I'm going to say no to everyone, even if it pisses them off. Someone wants me to go home for a wedding. Someone wants me to go home for a birthday. I said no to absolutely everyone about everything until I became the person that I wanted. Now, the success paradox is you will do this. Your life will become successful. And then you're going to attract more people. You're going to attract more girls. You're going to attract more friends. You're going to attract more opportunities. And what you have to remember is the thing that made you successful in the first place was religiously saying no to anything that didn't serve the mission. One thing I've realized recently is that this is not something that you just do once to get from failure to success, to become the person you want to be, and then the mission's done. This is something that you do over and over again. This is another phase of my life I'm coming into now. To be clear with you, I've reached a period of success. I make between $100 and $150,000 a month profit from multiple online businesses. You can become a lower version of yourself with higher results. You can make more money, but still not be proud of yourself. This thing of recreating yourself, of becoming the person that you really admire, that is the whole journey. That is everything wrapped up. It's not about results. Money's great. Money's super important. But at the end of the day, it's about building a life you don't have to escape from. It's about building a person that you look at in the eyes in the mirror in the morning and you go, wow, man, I'm fucking proud of you. I'm proud of everything you've done. I'm proud of who you are every day, that you show up for yourself, and I respect you, and I respect the fact that you keep your word to yourself. That is really what life is all about. And I've had to learn that the hard way. I've made money and then dipped to a lower version of myself and still had good money coming in, but I was not fulfilled. So they go hand in hand. Remember that no matter what point in your life, what success you've got right now, you can always recreate yourself over and over again. And that is the beauty of the journey. That's what keeps us invested in this game, is that it's never ending. There's always another mountain to climb, and you can be grateful for everything on the way, but still strive to become a better person. And I made this video because I'm actually in an era of recreation again, of becoming a better person, a better version of myself now, with newer, bigger goals and more impact on the world. And that to me is a beautiful thing. Hopefully this has given you some pointers to start changing your life and given you the inspiration to think about disappearing to foreign lands, going through your own personal boot camp to create the ideal version of yourself and returning to your hometown of success to be admired by your friends and family. And I'm going to leave you with one final point, and that's, if you don't know where to start, always follow your curiosity and run towards the things that scare you most. The things that have led to the most growth in my life have been the things that scared me. I was scared to quit my job. I was scared to move towns. I was scared to leave my girlfriend. I was scared to move to Thailand. I was scared to post YouTube videos. I was scared to post reels. I was scared to post stories. Be quiet, dog. But in the end, all of those things that scared me, without fail, every single one, the things that scared me were the ones that led to a fulfilling life for me. So, boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope to connect with you further and help you achieve this life, or achieve a new adventurous life, surround you with brothers that support you. If you want to do that, if you want to connect with me and my brotherhood around the world, go and check out the New Elite and book a call with us below. Apart from that, lads, it's been a pleasure, and I'll see you on the next one.